welcome to my channel. My name is Ricardo and I'm Bujo Boosted. First of all, I want to thank and welcome to my channel all of my new followers because this week I got 4,000 followers. And that's absolutely amazing because 4,000 is almost 5,000, which is half 10,000. So I'm very excited about today's video because the study log is my favorite bullet journal spread as a student. So if you are a student, a university student, a college student, if you're learning some new skill, this spread is what you're looking for. As usual, I have created a spread within my Bujo Boosted community journal right here. I'm gonna show you what the study log is, how it works. I'm gonna do a live conversion from a homework list to the study log, and then towards the second part of the video I'm gonna show you all of my study logs. So I'm sure that a lot of you will love this video and this spread, so if you do set your own study log, please don't forget to use the hashtag BujoBoostedStudyLog so that I can see your study logs. I've already posted and I'll be posting pictures about my study log on Instagram, so if you haven't already, go follow me on Instagram as well. I'm Bujo Boosted over there. Also, last week's video got more than 300 likes, so I'm sure that today's video can get more than 400 likes, right? And with no further ado, let's get started. Okay guys, so for today's video I have drawn this spread within my Bujo Boosted community journal. I'm going to first start by explaining what a study log is, and then we're going to look at how this study log works. So first of all, the study log is a spread that you use in order to track what subject you study for and on which day. Study log is a spread that helps you keep track of the work that you got done, and it helps you see exactly when you studied and if you're studying regularly. It's important to know when you last studied something and how often you review that information if you don't want to end up completely forgetting that information. So the study log is a spread that you fill in with all the work that you actually do. I wanted to focus on this aspect of the spread because by the name, you may think that the study log is a spread that you use in order to pre-plan your study sessions. However, my version of the study log is not a planning spread. It's a spread that you fill in with the work that you did, not the one that you planned for, and it is a spread that helps you see what you actually did and it helps you realize whether you worked or not on that subject. So that's why if you're extremely lazy and you end up not getting any work done, well, your study log will stay blank. Let's have a look at our very first study log. As you can see here on this side, you have the subjects or general things that you need to study for. It could be a new skill, for example, or a musical instrument that you want to improve on. On this side, you have the time information. So you have the date and the day of the week. You use this area here in the middle to keep track of which subject you studied for on which day. So as you can see here on the 30th of January, you studied subject 2. On the 31st of January, you studied subject 5, and so on. As you may notice, on the 2nd of February and on the 4th of February, nothing got done. So that means that you did not work on any subject on these 2 dates. In this part of the study log, you put a brief description of what you did. So for example, on the 30th of January, which is the very first line right here, you worked on subject 2 and you read chapter 1. On the 31st of January, you worked on subject 5 and you reviewed your class 3, and so on. So as you can see, you have in a very small place all of the information you need. The subject you studied for, the time, and the description of what you did. So the study log is a spread that you fill in daily with what you did on any specific day. I wanted to focus on the fact that you can have two different views. You can either focus on the date or on the subject. I'm going to use my ruler to give you an explanation of what I mean by that. So if we want to focus on the date, let's say, for example, the 2nd of February, as you can see here, you can see very clearly what you worked on that day. So on the 2nd of February, you worked on these two subjects right here, on subject 4 and subject 6. And you did some annotation for your subject 4 and some reviewing for your subject 6. This is what I call a date view. However, you can focus on the subject as well. In that case, you don't focus on the lines, but on the columns instead. As you can see here, these are subject 1. We only worked on subject 1 on Sunday, and so on. This can be really important if, for example, you plan on doing a certain thing every 3 days or every 2 days, or if you want to work on a certain subject or skill every single day. And of course, you can also have a more global view of the week as a whole. If you have a lot of crosses, that means that you studied a lot. If your week is blank, that means that you did not work on what you wanted to study for. In order to better explain how the system works, I'm going to fill a blank study log live right now. Just feel free to leave in a comment down below all of the questions that you may have about the system and how it works. So as you can see here, I'm going to do a conversion live from a homework list to a study log according to the work that we get done on every single day. As you can see here, I have a list of all the homework that you need to do, for example, for a certain week, and I'm going to explain all of the process that goes from your homework list to the work you do and to the actual study log. The very first thing that you want to do is to identify your subjects and to set a color coding system. The very first thing that you want to do is to divide your homework according to the subjects. As you know, I am a fan of colors, so I'm going to set up a color coding system according to this list of homework. As you can see, we have some math, some history, some Spanish, and some English literature, let's say. Let's pick 4 colors. I'm going to go for like brown for math. Let's pick this blue, this green, and this orange. Let's say, for example, that math is going to be brown. Now I'm going to set up the study log for our current week. So I'm going to write the subjects here with our colors and the dates in here on the side. Alright guys, so here we have our little study log all set up. So as I've said before, the study log is not a planning spread. Here we're going to log in what we worked on and not what we plan on doing. So first of all, let's have a look at our homework. As you can see here, we have a due date for our essay for the 9th of February. As you can see here, you can use this part of your spread to keep track of all sort of important dates. So I'm going to write that one on this part of the spread. So now let's say that today is the 6th of February, alright? And you want to study some math. Let's say you do exercise 1 all the way to 3 for your math class. So in that case, as you can see, I use the color dot in here according to the subject so that this way it's really clear to me what I did on what subject. Then let's say that you study for your Spanish class and you do exercise 3 of page 17, for example. So move on to Tuesday. You know that there is an important essay due date coming very soon, so you want to work on that. So in that case, we take this one. So you want to work more on your Spanish, so you want to do exercise 4. Kind of busy, so that's all that you did on that day. On the following day, as you can see here, that's the day before the due date for your essay, so you want to really focus on that, so you work only on your English essay writing. We are 3 days in our week. We can compare what we did according to our homework list. So we did exercise 1 all the way to 3. We have still 3 more exercises to do for math. We haven't done any reading for our history class, so we must work on that. We have 1 exercise left for our Spanish class and some listening, and we're done with our essay. Now it's Thursday and we can finally work on history, for example. It's almost the weekend, we got almost all of the work done and we want to take a day off. That means that you'll leave this line here completely blank. We have 2 exercises left for math. We need to do some more reading for our history class and some listening for Spanish class. Can see here right now, guys, you have a clear view of what you studied for on every single day of your week and what you did for each subject. We can use the ruler as we did before to focus either on the date. For example, you know that on the 9th of February you worked on math and history and that's what you did. On the 7th of February, you worked on your Spanish and your English, or you can focus on the subject. In that case, you can see here that you studied math 2 times this week, and you studied history 2 times, Spanish 3 times, English only 2 times because you had the due date for the 9th, and so on. I hope this was clear. If this wasn't as clear, please leave that in a comment below. And now it's time to show you my study log. I'm going to show you all of the study logs that I've had so far so that I can show you what I changed and what has been working well for me. Alright, so this is my very first study log from the month of September. As you can see, I used this for tracking these 3 weeks of September, and I used this page right here for all of the homework. So this can be really practical because you can have on this side all of the work that you actually did, and on this side the work that you still need to get done. And I had it on sticky notes so that I could, remove them and put them away and write on them and then move them back on my study log. As you can see, I can see at a glance what subject I worked for and what subject I completely neglected. For example, as you can see here with the ruler, I worked very well on the subject on electromagnetism. I have 6 study sessions here on these 2 weeks, which is quite well. I have 5 for math, but as you can see, there is a subject, for example, this subject right here that I did not work for. As you will see in my next study log, this sticky note system did not work as well as I thought it would. I ended up changing this page right here, but still I believe that it's a really good idea to have all of your homework on this side. Remember, it's important to have a clear separation between what you did, which is here, and what you must work on this side, even though you don't end up getting the work done. Let's move to the month of October. I'm so happy about these 2 pages. I worked on almost all of the subjects. Here I have all of the description of the work that I did. I'm so happy that I set this color coding system up because I can see really quickly what I did exactly on which date, and that's absolutely amazing. On this month, I decided to add this section right here. Let me zoom a bit in. If you watch my Ultimate Productivity Challenge video, these boxes right here work a little bit like that system. So here, as you can see, I have 4 different activities. So that would be read the lesson, rewrite my notes, do some revision, and do some exercises. So here on my study log, I have all of the things that I did, and most of that work will fit into one of these 4 categories right here. So whenever I do some reading or whenever I do some exercises or some revision, I would color one box in. This way I would keep myself motivated, and this worked extremely well for me. As you can see, I read a lot during the month of October. That's my reading the class box. I use these colors to signifying the fact that I was going from a level 1, a green level 1, all of the way up to the level red, which is like the highest and the most difficult to reach, if that makes sense. So when you do 4 sessions of reading, then you go up, and that would be yellow, and then orange and red, and so on. Next is my study log from the month of November. As you can see, this is pretty similar. Nothing has really changed. Here I have all my weeks. Here I have my motivation system. As you can see, I was thinking about adding how many hours I actually worked, but I ended up only tracking it for my very first week. So as you can see here, this week I worked 15 hours on my classes, and I have, as usual, the description of what I did on each subject on each day. And this has been working so well for me, guys. I did a lot of exercises because that's where I actually got to the orange. I was really happy about that. So October and November were the most productive months for me in terms of studying. As you can see, as I move through the end of the month and the semester, I start being more and more tired, so I start not getting as many things done. As you can see here, this is the study log from the month of December, and yes, it is almost blank. And that means that I did not study that much during this month. Here, for example, that's where Christmas was, so I did not study at all. And here on the 3 weeks, I was so busy. I was kind of sick at some point, so that's why it's almost blank. What I like about the system is that it gives you a clear picture of what you did. Here, for example, it's blank. That means that I did not study, and that's the reality of what I studied on the month of December. As you can see here, that's when I start adding these boxes right here with some important dates and info. And here we dive into my current study log. As you may notice, I don't have a study log for the month of January, and that's because I was on holiday and I was not having classes, and I did not feel the urge of having one, and so I thought that I would not draw one. That's alright. So I'm keeping this one as simple as possible. I have 5 weeks instead of 4. I don't have my motivational system because I'm using my Ultimate Productivity Challenge right here. So, the boxes that I would color in my motivational system, those are going here in my productivity challenge. I'm really happy about the system so far. We are here in this week, and as you can see, I've been working pretty consistently, so I'm happy about that. And what I absolutely adore is the fact of being able to see really clearly whether I worked or not or a certain subject. For example, I studied on this subject only twice in 2 weeks, in this one only once in 2 weeks, while there are other subjects that I study a lot for example this one. So this way I know exactly what I'm neglecting and what I'm working the most on. Here I've decided to add this small section. It's an upcoming exams section so that I know what I need to work on for the next month. As you'll notice, I don't have any important dates right here, and that's because this is the very first month of my new semester, so we don't have tests, and I didn't need to have that section right there. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know in a comment below what you thought about today's video. Will you use the study log, and which one was your favorite study log among my study logs? If you set your own study log, don't forget to share it with our community with the hashtag BujaBoostedStudyLog on Instagram. And if you don't follow me on Instagram already, I'm BujaBoosted over there. So I hope you all have a great weekend, and I'll see you soon in my next video next week. Bye!